Fallout 76 is a game designed to be played with friends. Despite that, I feel like it isn't built around teamwork all that much. In their effort to ensure the game could be played solo, it seems Bethesda also neglected to really push the co-op side of things to the extent they could. Now obviously the game is still fun to play as part of a team, but I've got some ideas for how I feel the team experience can both be improved and incentivised. The first point I have is to give XP for kills made by teammates. This is in fact the idea that got me started on this video. Recently I've been using unarmed a fair bit to kill most enemies in a swing or two. I also play the game with Kado a fair bit, and he's got a specific unarmed build he uses, which one-shots most enemies. This means that we can both deal with enemies in a single attack, only granting one of us the experience points from the kill. In order for the whole team to get rewarded for an enemy kill, each member needs to deal a significant amount of damage to it. There is some merit to this method I feel like I should point out. It stops people from XP farming simply by joining a team and then going AFK. If everyone got equal XP each time a kill was made, then plenty of low level players would just try and team up with higher levels just to get through the early levels at speed. That said, I still think this can be dealt with if the XP amount given to players in the team who don't fight the enemy is much lower. As an example, say that if you get the kill, you get 100% of the XP. A player on your team who also damages the creature but doesn't get the kill or do much damage might get around 50 to 75% of the XP, and a player on your team who doesn't deal any damage only gets 5 to 10% XP. This would keep it so that players still need to get involved if they want to grind out those levels, but it would also mean that if your whole team has high individual damage, you aren't each getting robbed of each other's kills. Something else related to combat would be to bring in tougher fights. Once you reach the really high levels and get good gear, it's very rare to encounter a challenge, even when playing solo. With my main character, I can take a casual stroll through the Cranberry Bog and not really have to worry about any encounters I'll face. Keep in mind that my main character isn't even really designed to be a min-max power build, so there's plenty of players out there with much better loadouts than I. For high tier players, the lack of a challenge in the endgame often makes most tasks feel like ticking errands off a list, as opposed to having an adventure in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. I don't feel any real need to group up with others in order to complete my objectives. I can get everything done on my own, so why worry about trying to get a team together to complete a task when I can just do it myself whenever I feel like it. The devs are going to be opening up the vaults in the future, which should serve as a high level area for player to fight through, but they'll need to be especially challenging in order for it to become a team focused activity. What I personally would like to see from these vaults are multiple difficulty levels, at which we can face them, similar to what Anthem is doing. This would allow teams of players who might not be super geared up to get through the vaults on easy, but would also still be able to provide a challenge for a full squad of level 200 plus players if they try out the highest difficulty. If Bethesda wants to keep people playing this game for years to come, then there needs to be challenges in place for the players who are sinking hundreds of hours into the game. In terms of added content, I'd also like to see more events added in which reward the inclusion of having multiple people doing the event at once. Stuff like the powering up events or searching for hordes are best done in groups, due to the fact that you need to cover lots of ground. This is a simple way to make it advantageous to be in a team, without also excluding the solo experience. You can complete these events on your own, but they tend to take a lot of time to finish. If you're on a team, then the ability to have multiple people cover the various areas you need to go to speeds up the process significantly. I think this is a really nice way to help incentivize teamwork without forcing so much of a power limit to it all. Teamwork needs to be incentivized right from the start, so it just can't be a case of making things harder, or else low-level players don't stand a chance. Right now, there's one time I see various players in a map congregate on a single location, and that's when a nuke is dropped. More specifically, when a nuke is dropped on Fisher Prime and the Queen emerges. The Scorch Beast Queen fight is a big high-level event which gets the attention of everyone. That's because it's a raid boss, a fight that requires numerous people to engage with in order to beat it, and yield some of the best rewards possible. What I'd love to see would be more raid bosses similar to this. The vaults could facilitate part of this, but I'd like to see more of them outside the vaults. Perhaps we could have the safe zones for nukes be reduced a little in the forest, so that we could nuke Flatwoods and the Mothman Museum in order to spawn raid boss versions of the Mothman and Flatwoods monster. This would also increase the diversity on where is nuked. Right now it's almost exclusively either the White Springs or Fisher Prime that gets nuked, so this would also have a side effect of varying up where we get to see the nukes dropping, which is always good to see. Raid bosses from nukes don't have to be the only way for them to appear though. We're already having weekly events starting to come into the game, so maybe some weekly or monthly raids too. Maybe each month we get a new mini-boss of sorts that we can take down, but it requires multiple players to activate it. I'm writing and recording this before the first of the new content has dropped, so maybe we have it so that the mythical wasteland creature can only be summoned if enough people gather in one location. This would mean you've already got everyone there before the event starts, so everyone will stick around to complete the fight. This right there means you've got a team together specifically for an event, a natural way for a team to form. Above all else, there needs to be more of an in-game focus on community settings and features. The social menu in-game works well enough for seeing who in your friends list is playing and then allowing you to join their server, and there's also area chat which can allow you to talk with players who are near to where you are. So far though, I've only used the area chat once, and it was to try and negotiate ownership of a workshop, which didn't end well for the other guy. There's not a community focused hub within the game where people can meet up in order to form a team or have interactions with others. Right now it's normally just a case of bumping into randoms, making it feel less like a community focused game and more like one where there just happens to be other people. Give us a city to rebuild where all the players can congregate, and suddenly it's much easier to interact with others. Imagine a small town with various vendors, no enemies to worry about, and PvP restrictions, so that everyone can head there, do a little trading, maybe chat with other players, and even ask for help with quests, events, or raids. This is quite a big way to increase community features in the game itself, but I like it because it can be expanded on in so many ways. Twitter is pretty big for Fallout 76 photos, but why not also have something in-game where we can share our photos? It's all good and well being able to take pictures in the game, but if we want to be able to share them with others in the world too, we need something to be there. Having to head off platform in order to do this doesn't feel like the optimal way to do things. YouTube, Reddit, Twitter and Discord all have Fallout 76 based communities where people can share things about the game, but this is lacking inside of the game itself. When I run into a stranger with a cool camp, I want to take a photo of me with their camp and then share it with that stranger. When I want to acquire specific items, I want to be able to travel to a trading hub where I can barter with other people, and when I want to go on a dangerous quest, I want to be able to find others also looking to go on that quest. There's a lot that can be done to improve the social and team-based side of 76 as the game continues to grow. Plenty of the ideas I've put forward could appear in the following weeks and months, as new content is added to the game. At the same time, maybe what I've said wouldn't work out, or maybe you have better ideas on how to incentivise more teamwork within the game. If so, let me know by leaving a comment on the video. Feel free to suggest improvement ideas for the game, and take a look at the suggestions others have made as well. Fallout 76 is set to have plenty of changes as it goes forward, so there's always the chance that you might get what you want. That's it for the video though. Just a few ideas on how to improve the game. If you're new to the channel, I'd recommend subscribing, as I make a whole bunch of Fallout 76 content, both like this and not like this. Make sure you leave a like on the video, share it with others if you think there's something good here, and maybe consider becoming a patron so that I can keep making these videos going forward. As always, thanks for watching. Sarge out.